Friday, October 27th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Powwow season finale, the final stop on this year's Powwow Trail in New Brunswick. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And launching today, details on a firefighter calendar that champions mental health while celebrating the special connection between firefighters and their loyal pets. That interview coming up in our 7 o'clock hour.
Plus, I have a love story. Acclaimed fiddler Natalie MacMaster can now add author to her resume. We'll chat with her about her new book, all that and so much more just ahead on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Just pressing upon 6:01 on this Monday, October 27th, into the last week of this month. My goodness, it's been a busy month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great time to be around, though. The weather was lovely on the weekend, had a great weekend. How was your weekend, you two?
Oh my gosh, it was a fantastic weekend. We celebrated my husband's birthday. We went for a big hike on the Bluff Wilderness Trail, which is near Timberlea, in between Timberlea and Tantallon. Something we like to do every fall. The fall colors have been stunning. They're now starting to dim a little bit, and we had some much needed rain at times. We had some heavy downpours over the weekend, at least speaking for the Halifax area, and I think that brought quite a few leaves off the trees.
It did, for sure. I know. Did you have a busy weekend?
Yeah, it was nice. Kids always keep me busy.
Yeah, for sure. I did as well. I was in the valley.
You were a proud mama.
Mama. My daughter won the AUS cross country championship.
Amazing. Congrats.
Amazing.
So she was shocked too. Wasn't expecting that. Would have been happy with top 10, but hey, we'll take top 1.
Exactly. Why not?
All right, weather-wise, what are we looking at today?
A little bit of the same as we saw on the weekend. So temperatures are starting to cool down, becoming seasonal for our daytime highs, and another wet start to the day. So keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. Now, St. John's, Newfoundland won't be dealing with wet weather today. Currently 6 degrees in your area. And as I mentioned, it is cooler across the region. So keep that in mind when you are heading out. You will want to layer up, and don't forget your raincoat. Starting off this morning, 5 degrees over in Fredericton with 8 degrees early this morning in Charlottetown, 7 in Halifax, 6 in Sydney. Very cold into Labrador City this morning, -7 degrees. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia for today into tonight, ending Tuesday morning, as well as a rainfall warning in effect today and tonight, ending Tuesday morning as well for parts of Nova Scotia. Here's a look at that low that's tracking across the Maritimes this morning, bringing chance of showers and periods of rain for parts of the region, at times heavy. I'll have a full breakdown in the full weather forecast coming up a little later. As of right now, wind out of the north and northeast this morning for the Maritime region will be a bit breezy for parts of the region. As of right now, 28 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in Grand Etang, 24 in North Cape, 26 in Canso, and 24 in Halifax. Wind gusts getting up to 41 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 37 in Canso, 28 in Truro. I'll have a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A child has died and a teenager was seriously injured following a collision Friday night in northeastern New Brunswick. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Shila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. RCMP say the passenger on the moped, an 8-year-old boy, was rushed to hospital where he later died. The driver of the moped, a 17-year-old boy, was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The people in the vehicle were not physically injured, and the cause of the crash is under investigation. Also in New Brunswick, a woman has been charged with attempted murder after a 74-year-old woman was found seriously injured in Woodstock. 1 week ago, officers responded to a residence on Holton Street around 9 p.m. and found the injured woman outside. Shortly after, police say a suspect was arrested. Police say 23-year-old Destiny Innes was initially charged with assault causing bodily harm, but the charge has now been upgraded to attempted murder. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them. While Canadians are gripped by baseball fever right now, a lot of parents are finding themselves infuriated because of another sport, minor hockey. In PEI, some say they were blindsided when fees more than doubled this fall. CTV's Maria Saru on why the cost to play Canada's game keeps going up.
The puck drops at this Charlottetown rink, but for parents, the real hit is to the wallet. Some say new fees for minor hockey are too high.
Why the heck are they so much more this year than they have been?
Andrew Wood says his son's team fee was $1,600 last year, split between players. This fall, after two city leagues merged, the price jumped to $4,000. That's on top of registration.
Most parents seem to be quite annoyed as well. I'm fortunate I only have the one child playing sports, but at the same time, I'm also a single income family.
CTV News reached out to the Greater Charlottetown Minor Hockey Association and Hockey PEI to ask about fee increases, but neither responded by our deadline. The association is governed by a volunteer board, and according to its website, registration and team fees cover things like ice time, referees, and some equipment. Those line items now cost more, according to operators. Leaders at Lug Sports, a recreational league that runs hockey games across Canada and the U.S., say inflation is pushing the baseline up.
Typically, when you see increases in some of the larger costs associated with operating a program, with ice time being the number one cost, it can happen that the price would increase for the player.
Back at the arena, Wood says his son has 1 year left before aging out of minor hockey, so he'll do what it takes to keep him on the ice until then. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
A New Brunswick man has been charged in what police are calling a firearm-related incident in St. Antoine. Police say officers responded to a complaint of shots fired at two people on Haute Saint-Damien Road on Saturday, October 18th. One person suffered minor injuries and was treated at the scene. Police say 33-year-old Nathan LeBlanc has now been charged with a dozen offenses, including assault and careless use of a firearm. The Halifax Shopping Centre was evacuated Saturday afternoon. Shoppers were told to leave the mall shortly after 4 p.m. Several Halifax police vehicles could be seen parked outside of the mall. Police tell CTV News officers responded around 4:10 p.m. to a bomb threat. Police later confirmed there was no bomb and a youth was arrested. Shoppers were allowed back inside shortly after the evacuation. This past weekend's traditional powwow in St. John was the 12th and final stop on New Brunswick's Powwow Trail for 2025. CTV's Nick Moore reports.
More than 200 dancers joined the grand entry at the Monoquist Wabanaki Traditional Powwow inside St. John's TD Station on Saturday.
I love outdoor powwows, but it's really cool to have an indoor powwow, especially at this time of year. You don't know what the weather's going to be like either, right? You want to take care of the people and the youth and our elders.
Pizzazz Paul is CEO of Double Curve Media, which led the organization of Saturday's gathering. Paul says the powwow's location presented opportunities to showcase performances in creative ways.
We're on top of a basketball arena, so we're able to light it differently. We're able to provide different sound. It's just a different environment, a different energy that comes in here.
I made all of my beadwork when I was about 15.
Shane Nevin Mayo is on the go throughout the summer, attending powwows around the region, calling this one a standout.
I usually go every weekend. I'm a champion dancer, so I've been going around since I was 2. And yeah, so usually all my summers are kind of around here.
Extending powwow season from June into the fall has allowed people to go to more throughout the year, including Kyla Paul Brooks and Harmony Pulches.
They were really fun and I enjoyed all of them. This one was probably one of my favorites.
This is definitely on the leaderboard. It's definitely on one of my favorites.
Planning for this year's powwow in St. John began immediately after last year's, which marked the first traditional powwow to be held in the city. Planning is now underway for 2026. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
Thank you so much, Nick. Love all the different ages there as well.
Yeah, I love that it's on that child's leaderboard. It's on my bucket list now.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a health advancement that might actually be influential in your life if you know somebody who has this eye disease. A tiny microchip is helping people living with a rare eye disease see again. The disease is called geographical atrophy, and it affects about 5 million people around the world. The disease causes a slow deterioration of the macula, or the small oval-shaped area in the center of the retina. It's responsible for central vision, allowing us to see colors and find details clearly. Well, It's now being treated experimentally by researchers who insert a microchip into the retina, which projects an enlarged image into a pair of augmented reality glasses. Scientists say 80% of trial participants had some of their sight restored.
Wow, 80%.
It's significant. So, you know, early days, but we'll wait and see how this all works out for people.
That's super cool research. All right, coming up after our first break, we'll have a first look at your national and international news headlines on this Monday morning. And Latavia has a first full look at the forecast for the last week of October. Good morning to you, Antigua Nish. Some wet pavement there this morning. We'll be right back.
Kicking off the work week with a wet start to the day over in Moncton, currently 6 degrees in your area. Keep that in mind. You may want to allot some extra time out on your morning commute. We are going to see periods of rain throughout the day. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca, and we are going to see wet weather for much of the region today and a bit of a cooler start to this work week. So starting off Monday morning, 5 degrees in Fredericton, 8 starting off your day in Charlottetown with 7 degrees in both Halifax and Sydney, -7 over in Labrador City with 4 degrees for St. Anthony and 6 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have special weather statements in effect for parts of both New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. This is for today into tonight, ending early Tuesday morning. We are expecting around 20 to 40 millimeters, could see up to 50 millimeters locally. As well as a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Nova Scotia. This will be ending Tuesday morning as well, seeing around 40 to 60 millimeters of rainfall. Could get up to 100 millimeters for parts of this part of the province. Over to our forecast timeline, we do have a bit of fog early this morning that will dissipate a little bit later, as well as wet weather tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada. So we are going to see a chance of showers, around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening. Also seeing periods of rain for parts of the Maritime region. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, going to see precipitation throughout your day as well, but it is quite low into both Newfoundland and Labrador today. Into the afternoon, much of the same expected. Carrying into the evening, we will still see precipitation across the region. Now the heaviest will be over to Cape Breton Island. And then into early Tuesday morning, we do have a wet day ahead yet again, but it will be just a chance of showers. Over to our rainfall outlook. If you're wondering how much precipitation we're going to receive from now until early Tuesday morning, we're looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters for parts of New Brunswick, around 2 to 20 as well for Prince Edward Island, seeing the heaviest of that precipitation for mainland Nova Scotia as well as into the eastern region and Cape Breton Island. Over to Newfoundland and Labrador, it's going to remain quite light. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Prepare for wet weather throughout the day. We're going to see a few showers, periods of rain as well will move in across the province, and a high of 9 degrees today. Wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Highs between 11 to 12 degrees today for Prince Edward Island. Looking at showers throughout your day. Also seeing wind gusts getting up to 40. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, a cloudy start to the day. Showers arrive into the afternoon for Cape Breton Island. We are going to see that wet weather throughout the day today as well. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at highs between 9 to 11 degrees and a chance of showers expected throughout your day. For Newfoundland and Labrador, we are going to see some mixed precipitation for parts of Labrador with a high of 5. 9 degrees over into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, seeing periods of drizzle into the evening. For our forecast on Tuesday, temperatures will remain seasonal for our daytime highs yet again, so definitely seeing a bit of a cool down. We are going to see sunshine return for parts of Atlantic Canada, but also going to see a chance of showers remain in our forecast. And then for Wednesday, sunshine returns for much of the region. That's a look at your weather forecast on this Monday. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you so much, Latavia. 2 suspects in the brazen heist of France's crown jewels from the Louvre have been arrested in Paris. One man was arrested as he prepared to board a flight out of the country. The other was arrested in a suburb north of Paris. Thieves stole 8 pieces worth an estimated $142 million from the Louvre's collection. The museum's director says they took advantage of a gap in the museum's security surveillance, and both private and public security cameras nearby helped detectives track the thieves. Investigators also found DNA samples and fingerprints at the scene. Canadians will soon have to be photographed when entering and exiting the U.S. That's according to new rules from the Department of Homeland Homeland of Security. The new condition will apply to travelers no matter how they cross, whether it's by land, air, or through a port. It's part of a move to collect biometric data introduced several years ago. No word yet on when this would be rolled out. Snowbirds or anyone else flying to the U.S. and even across Canada should expect delays in the coming days. CTV's Heather Wright explains why.
As the U.S. government shutdown enters its fourth week, travelers here in Canada are bracing for impact.
It's stressful. Everything's stressful.
Roughly 13,000 air traffic controllers and about 50,000 Transportation Security Administration officers are working without pay during the government shutdown. Staffing shortages are 4 times higher than usual, and delays are expected to get even worse this week, with more controllers choosing to stay home rather than work for free. That not only means delays for Canadians traveling to the States, but also for domestic flights. Because the North American airspace is so integrated, planes often cross the border during flights.
If they have a shortage in the northern perimeters, that would in fact impact on the routing, the timing, and departure time of some of our Canadian operations.
Both the United States and Canada have been dealing with a shortage of air traffic controllers. Winnipeg and Kelowna airports have had to briefly close this year due to staffing, typically when the one controller on duty goes on a break. In a statement, Nav Canada, which manages the country's air navigation system, said the closures were precautionary measures taken under our fatigue risk management system to ensure safe operations and protect the well-being of our employees, while noting the closures are generally limited and brief, and that the Winnipeg closure lasted no longer than 30 minutes. But with the busy holiday season approaching, travel could get even bumpier.
We fear there will be significant flight delays, disruptions, and cancellations in major airports across the country this holiday season.
It was air travel that helped end the 35-day government shutdown back in 2019 when 10 air traffic controllers stayed home, snarling air travel and leading to a public outcry. Delays are expected to get worse this week, though it's not clear if it will be enough to get the U.S. government reopened. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
And meteorologists across North America are keeping an eye on Hurricane Melissa. It has rapidly strengthened to a Category 4 storm barreling through the Caribbean.
It now seems virtually certain that the core of a powerful hurricane is going to move over Jamaica on a Tuesday.
Satellite images show the eye of Melissa near Cuba with winds reaching 220 kilometers per hour. Jamaica is bracing for impact with fears the storms could strengthen by the time it hits, causing flash flooding, storm surges, and landslides. Quick break here. When we return, we'll have your must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN, plus your business headlines from BNN Bloomberg. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 6:23 and time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello there, Jermaine Franklin with you inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, we'll head to Foxborough for this one. Browns, Patriots, third quarter, Dylan Gabriel steps out the pocket and goes deep. But check out Jalen Hawkins. He comes up big, making an incredible one-handed catch for the interception. That's a second pick of the season, and it comes in style for Hawkins and the Pats. And he earns your must-see moment from Sunday. Tonight on TSN, Week 8 of the NFL season wraps up with Monday Night Football as the Commanders visit the Chiefs. It all starts at 5 p.m. Central across the network. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
And now we'll throw things over to your business headlines with our colleagues at BNN.
Air Canada is cutting about 1% of its workforce. About 400 management jobs will be lost. The airline shared the news on the same day it announced it'll start running direct flights to the U.S. from Toronto's Island Airport. Travelers will be able to fly directly to New York, Boston, Chicago, and Washington starting March of 2026. Ottawa is taking aim at Stellantis and General Motors, cutting the number of vehicles the automakers can send tariff-free from the U.S. to Canada. The move in response to both companies announcing production changes, leading to job losses in Ontario. U.S. inflation picked up in September, coming in at 3%, but that was less than expected. The report was delayed because of the U.S. government shutdown. It was supposed to be released more than a week ago. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.44. West Texas Intermediate crude is down to 61.50. Western Canadian Select is up close to $3 today to 48.99. And the TSX gained 166 points today, ending the week at 30,353. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Now taking a look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, looking at showers across the province today with a high of 9. On Tuesday, 10 degrees is your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud with some isolated showers expected to the southern region. And then on Wednesday, looking at a high of 12 degrees, sunny skies across the province. Nova Scotia will be seeing wet weather as well today, some sunny breaks, but seeing showers across the province, a high of 12. Tuesday, the daytime high remains the same. We will be seeing rain across the province. And then on Wednesday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 13. Prince Edward Island looking at showers today, a high of 11 degrees, 10 on Tuesday, seeing clouds clear out, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Wednesday, looking at sunny skies across the island.
Coming up in this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. This morning, it's all about birthday cake. Do you have a favorite kind? Well, we want to know. That's just ahead on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. I didn't make a birthday cake over the weekend for my husband, but this is what I made for his request. I made like a lemon meringue pie, but without the meringue, and a coconut cream pie topping.
Oh, that sounds like a mashup made in heaven.
It was a good combo. Loved it. Not sure if it's a fall flavor with the weather conditions we have right now. More of a summery dish, but
we'll take
still nice no matter the time of year.
I hope you brought some for us.
Ooh, I don't know if there's leftovers.
It would be in my house or something like that.
Right?
Oh gosh, she's dark this morning.
Absolutely, and a bit cool starting off the day for much of the region. Definitely seeing temperatures cool down 5 degrees starting off in Fredericton. We are expecting some wet weather heading your way. Keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. Layers and rain gear is needed because we are going to see that wet weather sticking around for much of the region into the afternoon. Starting off early this morning, we're seeing 5 degrees in St. John, New Brunswick, 6 in Moncton, 8 degrees starting off your day in Charlottetown with 7 in both Halifax and Sydney, -7 over in Labrador City, 5 degrees in Gander, and 7 into St. John's. Over to the special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. This will be ending Tuesday morning. We also have a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Nova Scotia. Here's that low that's tracking across the region today, bringing wet weather to the Maritimes. A chance of showers, periods of rain will be persisting throughout the day for much of the Maritime region. Seeing a bit more sunshine ahead for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Over to the current wind for the Maritime region out of the north and northeast this morning, 37 kilometers per hour right now in Grand Etang, 28 into North Cape with 26 in Lunenburg, 20 kilometers per hour in Truro, and 24 in Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 46 kilometers per hour this morning in Grand Etang and 35 in Canso. I'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A child has died and a teenager was seriously injured following a crash Friday night in northeastern New Brunswick. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Shila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. RCMP say the passenger on the moped, an 8-year-old boy, was rushed to hospital where he later died. The driver of the moped, a 17-year-old boy, was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The people in the vehicle were not physically injured. Police say the cause of the crash is under investigation. A number of students in Nova Scotia still dealing with academic upheaval. Part-time professors at 2 universities in Halifax are still off the job. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth takes a look at the impact the job action is having on those trying to learn.
Another university work stoppage, this time at 2 Halifax campuses.
I'd like to be in class. I'd rather be in class learning stuff. But no, I can't do that.
More than 300 part-time university professors at St. Mary's and Mount St. Vincent are on strike, choosing picket lines over classrooms.
We're some of the lowest paid instructors, not just simply in Atlantic Canada, but in the country.
Another strike for Halifax-based universities means canceled classes, which adds pressure for students in their academic year.
It's unfortunate it canceled one of my classes, so it's going to set us behind on some material. I'm being patient, but if it lasts too long, then it's going to affect my studies.
Some students have paid tuition for courses that are now suspended.
If it goes on for a long time, like the Dell one, I do think we should be reimbursed.
These part-time professors say they'd rather not disrupt the academic year, but this is their strongest negotiation tactic.
Which is to withdraw our labor, to stop teaching.
Both universities have no plans to change the length of the term to make up for classes that are canceled during the job action. Courses taught by full-time professors are not being impacted. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Police in Central Labrador are investigating 4 fires that could have been caused by an arsonist. The RCMP in Happy Valley Goose Bay say the structure fires were reported Friday night and into Saturday morning. No one was hurt. Between 11:45 p.m. and 3:10 a.m., 2 homes were destroyed by a fire. And between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., an abandoned building was engulfed in flames and an office building was found burning when police responded. Halloween is this Friday, but in many areas, celebrations are already underway. In East Chesapeake, Nova Scotia, the Gatesbrook Greenway Trail was packed with families this weekend as trick-or-treaters enjoyed the 5th annual Halloween on the Trail Walk. CTV's Emma Convey stopped in to check out all the costumes and treats.
Crayons, minions, princesses, and dinosaurs. Just a few costumes spotted along the Gatesbrook Greenway this weekend.
This is a completely free event. It is solely based on the donations that we receive from individuals and businesses and organizations. So it's a lot of work, but it is fun. It's worth it.
This is the 5th annual Halloween trick-or-treat on the Trail Walk in East Chesapeake. 49 treat stations, dozens of volunteers, and bags upon bags of candy.
It warms my heart like I can't even explain how that it just makes me so happy.
Giving treats out to the kids and just part of the festivities for Halloween.
Last year there were 1,200 trick-or-treaters and more than 3,000 people in total walking this part of the trail. Organizers think the turnout this year could be even more.
That's fantastic.
I get emotional. It's nice to have some fun.
We come for the kids. They have a blast. Get out and actually interact with people and keep the tradition of Halloween going.
This year they added a hot dog fundraiser to rally behind a family in their community needing support.
We are doing the barbecue for the Wainwright family in support. We had a tragedy on Highway 107 recently. We did lose a community member, a very close friend. And we wanted to basically bring the community together, raise as much money as we could.
For some families, this event is an annual tradition. For others, it's their first time. But for the kids, it's all about
lollipops. I like that we get candy. I'm hoping to get so much chocolate.
We like trick-or-treating, but tables and not houses.
I just like handing out the treats and getting extra candy.
I get to see all the kids' costumes. Get some candy, and we got quite a lot.
With Halloween night less than a week away, the excitement is only growing. Emma Convey, CTV News, East Chesapeake, Nova Scotia.
Oh my gosh, those costumes are incredible.
Really good.
Adorable,
I
yeah.
love it. Okay, we love that. We also love when you text or email us your photos. Here's a beautiful fall scene. Wow. This is the Bell Museum in beautiful Bedeque, Nova Scotia, in a perfect blanket of fall colors. We want to thank viewer Darlene Ellsworth for texting this to us. 10400 is the number if you got a photo you'd love to share. Thanks, Darlene. That's a beauty.
And I'm glad you mentioned the number, too, because coming up, we have the Move Morning Chat, and you can participate in this or send us a text anytime at 10400. Today, we want to know what's your favorite birthday cake, and if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. Hope it's off to a great start. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back.
Quite dark over in Lunenburg this morning, currently 8 degrees. Welcome back, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 6:41. We are seeing a cooler start to the day for much of the region. You may want to layer up before heading outdoors and allow some extra time out on your morning commute as we are seeing precipitation track across much of the Maritimes today. Like I mentioned, cooler this morning, will be warming up, but just remaining seasonal for our daytime highs. As of right now, it is 5 degrees in Fredericton, 8 starting off your day in Charlottetown, 7 degrees in Halifax and Sydney, -7 over in Labrador City, -1 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, 5 degrees starting off your day in Corner Brook and Gander, and 7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. For a special weather statement, it is affecting parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia today into tonight. This will end Tuesday morning. We're looking at around 20 to 40 millimeters of rainfall, as well as a rainfall warning in effect. This ends Tuesday morning as well for parts of Nova Scotia, seeing around 40 to 60 millimeters. Over to our forecast timeline, a bit of fog early this morning that will dissipate a little bit later. We are going to see wet weather track across parts of Atlantic Canada, specifically across the Maritime region. We will be seeing a chance of showers, around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening, as well as periods of rain for parts of the Maritime region. For parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, we will be seeing a bit of wet weather, but it's going to remain quite light. And as we head towards this evening and overnight hours, we will be seeing fog develop near midnight. Showers will continue, taking us into early Tuesday morning, where we do have a chance of showers returning, but for the most part, we will be seeing lots of sunshine as well. If you're wondering about rainfall totals, we are going to see the heaviest for parts of Nova Scotia at around 40 to 50 millimeters expected. For New Brunswick, looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters, and 2 to 20 also across Prince Edward Island. Light amounts indicated for parts of Newfoundland. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime high of 9 degrees today. Going to see wet weather throughout the day. Looking at wind out of the north, 20 gusting to 40. And then for Prince Edward Island, highs between 11 to 12 degrees. Wet weather for you as well today. A chance of showers will remain throughout the day. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, a cloudy start to the day for Cape Breton. Into the afternoon, we will be seeing some wet weather move in, and also for eastern Nova Scotia, that's where the heaviest of that precipitation will be throughout the day today, and wind gusts getting up to 40. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at highs between 9 to 11 degrees, scattered showers expected throughout your day. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, we will be seeing some sunshine over in Labrador at 5 degrees as your daytime high. 9 into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and clouds starting off the day. Periods of drizzle into the evening. For forecast on Tuesday, temperatures will remain seasonal for the most part for our daytime highs. We will be seeing some sunny breaks into parts of New Brunswick, a bit cloudier for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, also seeing a bit more cloud coverage ahead for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. And then into Wednesday's forecast, we will be seeing sunshine return yet again. Temperatures warming up a few degrees. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll also things over to the Move Morning Chat. We are talking about the Move Morning Chat, and this morning our question of the day is, what was your favorite birthday cake and why? So Erin, you want to tell us why we're talking about birthday cakes?
Tell us, Erin.
Well, okay, it is my birthday today. So,
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you guys, but this is what prompted the birthday cake chat, and we're basically having a debate this morning on the superior birthday cake. Now, I'm just saying, I don't know when we got all fancy with these layered cakes, and some people like cupcakes for their birthday. I want the old school ice cream cake. I found a picture of, one of my ice cream cakes from the 90s. It had the Spice Girls on it. And I'm like, this is the birthday cake I want on my birthday today. I want a Spice Girls birthday cake. Ice cream cake. I don't want it to be fancy. It is the best birthday cake out there. And Peter, he's got a better idea.
I do have a much better idea for a birthday cake. And I don't even know if anyone else in this conversation right now ever had this cake. Maybe you did. When my folks made a birthday cake, and let's be real, it was Mom who made the birthday cake. At some point, money, real money, would be in the cake, wrapped in tin foil, right? Yeah. Maybe there would be quarters or maybe a silver dollar or a loonie or whatever it was wrapped up in that cake. And it was so much fun, so exciting for everybody to get a slice of cake and see what money you had inside that.
Oh, no, that's a good one. We need to bring that back.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I have that as an adult?
Wrap up a little bit of like a little $100 bill there in the parchment paper and jam it in that cake. For me, I'm with you, Erin. DQ Dairy Queen cake all the way. I have that every year. It's a joke. I always tell my family, let's keep my birthday on the DQ, which is like, I love ice cream cake. Love it, love it, love it. But for me, not the fancy Blizzard ones, but the actual classic, the chocolate with the, crunchy stuff in the middle and the vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. What about you, Latifah?
I'm exactly like you.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know if it was a 90s thing. We always had ice cream cake. Even when I went to birthday parties, if you had an ice cream cake, it was lit. Like, you were excited to have that cake.
Yeah. I'm going to just shout out right now the people who work at the DQ in Port Hawkesbury. My daughter had a birthday. It was Mamma Mia themed because she was turning 17. And they were like, let us, we got this. What I showed up was a giant sheet cake with a whole, photograph of the Acropolis on it.
Wow, that is so cool.
Wow.
So I'm with you. You have to pay a little extra for the Spice Girls transfer, Erin, but you know what? I'll kick in for that today for you.
You got it.
All right, this is super fun. We want to hear from you now. What's your favorite birthday cake? Do you like a money cake like Peter? Are you also on the ice cream train? Let us know. Text us at 10400. We're going to have a wonderful wrap-up. If you have any photos of great cakes you've made, share them our way. Yeah, 10400.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
And the Blue Jays are not the only ones heading to LA. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
Chainsaw Man the movie has beaten a biopic about the boss and a horror sequel to win the top spot at the North American box office. The big screen adaptation of the popular anime earned $17.25 million in the U.S. and Canadian theaters this weekend, while Black Phone 2 fell to the #2 spot with just $13 million.
Guess who just spent the last half hour with the coolest guy in school?
In a close third, the rom-com Regretting You earned $12 million, beating out Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, the first biopic about the rock legend, which earned just $9 million. Jack Skellington, Sally Zero, and many other beloved characters from Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas are on display this spooky season at the New York Botanical Gardens. The immersive walk-through adventure, which runs through the end of November, transports visitors to the magical world of Halloween and Christmas towns with songs and video projections. Sydney Sweeney has taken on the role of Christy Martin, a pioneer for women's boxing in the 1990s, who was nearly killed by her husband and boxing coach after years of domestic abuse. Sweeney said she hopes Martin's story can teach audiences valuable lessons about how to support abuse victims.
One of the biggest things we talk about on set is to be Christy strong, and I really hope that she inspires other people to be as strong as she was.
And happy birthday, John Cleese. The English actor, writer, producer, and co-founder of the Monty Python comedy troupe is 86. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Allison Cossack.
And the Toronto Blue Jays are gearing up for Game 3 of the World Series tonight in Los Angeles. The series is tied at 1-1.
No, Jays fans' hopes are as high as the sky. Yeah. They have waited for this for a long, long time. CTV's Anne-Marie Medewick takes us back to the last time Toronto won it all in 1993.
The Blue Jays have won the pennant.
The Toronto Blue Jays are no stranger to the World Series, but it's been a while. 32 years to be exact. The last time the Jays won the World Series was 1993, when fans could get their hands on lower-level seats at the Skydome for $78. The Jays franchise was 17 years old. Canada's Prime Minister was Kim Campbell. And Mariah Carey's Dream Lover was the top song on Canadian radio. Gas was about 50 cents a liter. And the Jays were not called Canada's team because the Montreal Expos were still around.
Henderson to the plate with the go-ahead run.
The first time the Jays won the World Series was the year before, in 1992, when the team, with star players Roberto Alomar and Dave Winfield, faced off against the Atlanta Braves.
Blue Jays need one more out. Braves need one more run.
Game 6 in Atlanta, the Jays were up 3-2 in the series and made history, becoming the first team outside of the U.S. to win a World Series.
Nixon bunts. Kimball on it. Throws to first. For the first time in history, the World Championship banner will fly north of the border.
The next year, the defending champs eliminated the Chicago White Sox to find themselves back in the World Series, but this time with a series lead of 3-2 against the Philadelphia Phillies. They were in Toronto at the Skydome for Game 6.
And he makes the catch. And Toronto leaves the bases loaded in the 8th inning.
The Jays were trailing 6-5 when, in the bottom of the 9th, I mean, who can forget this moment?
Here's the pitch on the way, a swing and a belt. Left field, way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions.
Joe Carter hits a game-winning 3-run home run, and the Blue Jays won their second consecutive championship.
Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
After that moment in Canadian history, the Jays failed to make the playoffs for 21 consecutive seasons. The last time there was some momentum and excitement behind the Jays was 2015. I mean, who can forget Jose Bautista's iconic bat flip? That was their last big season. The Jays have only made the playoffs 6 times in the last decade. And since the Expos moved to Washington in 2004, the Jays have taken on the moniker of Canada's team. The last time any major Canadian sports team took home a top title was the Raptors in 2019. In hockey, the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup were the Montreal Canadiens in 1993, the same year the Jays won the World Series. Could history repeat itself 32 years later? Canada sure hopes so.
And Game 3 tonight in LA starts at 9 o'clock Atlantic time. Happening now in local news, a child has died and a teenager seriously injured following a collision Friday night in northeastern New Brunswick. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Shila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. Those details just ahead. Also, this past weekend's traditional powwow in St. John was the 12th and final stop on New Brunswick's Powwow Trail. And it's all in the details. A new exhibit in Fredericton is shining a spotlight on historic provincial logos and branding in New Brunswick. That trip back in time coming up in your local news headlines. But first, it's a 3-day forecast with Latavia.
Thanks, Amanda. Wet weather across New Brunswick today with a high of 9 degrees. On Tuesday, seeing sunshine for much of the province. We do have some isolated showers for the southern region. And then on Wednesday, a high of 12. Sunshine returns across the province. Nova Scotia will see wet weather as well. Some sunny breaks here and there into the afternoon with a high of 12. 12 degrees as your daytime high on Tuesday. Rain across the province. And then on Wednesday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Prince Edward Island looking at showers today with a high of 11, 10 degrees on Tuesday with clouds clearing out. And on Wednesday, sunshine across the island with a high of 11.
It's Monday, October 27th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Design History New Brunswick exhibit is a trip back in time when it comes to logos. We'll show you more. That's just ahead here.
And firefighters, furry friends, and a fantastic cause. We'll have details on a calendar that supports the mental health of the heroes behind the hose. That's coming up on the Monday edition of CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic, Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. Time now is 7:01. There we go. And this is the end of October this week.
Yeah, it is.
Wild behavior. I know. Where'd the time go?
Are you ready for Halloween?
Yes, I've been ready.
You're ready
but
to go.
Unfortunately, I was telling Amanda, as of right now, we're looking at rain for Halloween on Friday. Yeah. Obviously, it's early in the week. Things could change. Fingers crossed they will. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now.
Well, rain, timing of the rain, we'll wait and see what Friday holds.
Yes.
That certainly happened in the past. We've had rain, we've had snow.
We've had snow. Oh my gosh, remember trick-or-treating as a kid with a snowsuit and your parents putting on, you can't even see your costume.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, maybe the kids will be walking around with the umbrellas. Who knows? And then there's a time change coming up too this weekend.
That's right.
Yes.
And coming up later in the week, we're going to have sleep expert Amanda Jewson on the show, kind of helping us get ready for that time change.
Well, it's good to know that's coming up.
That's coming up.
In the meantime, it's a brand new week. We're only on Monday. So what are we looking at weather-wise today?
Well, definitely a wet day ahead for parts of the region today. Here's a live look at Port de Grave early this morning. You will not be seeing precipitation throughout the day today. We're looking at some sunny breaks into the afternoon, but for the most part, mainly cloudy skies. And then into the evening, could see periods of drizzle. So for the Maritime region, it's going to be kind of wet today, so keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. It's cool as well. 5 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, with 8 in Charlottetown, 6 degrees early this morning in Halifax, 7 in Sydney, -4 degrees starting off your day in Labrador City, and 7 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, as well as a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Nova Scotia, ending early Tuesday morning. Here's a look at the system that's currently tracking across the Maritime region, bringing a chance of showers, periods of rain. We will be seeing a bit of wet weather for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, but quite light for them. And then into the current winds across the Maritime region, a bit breezy for parts of the Maritimes. As of right now, out of the north and northeast, 37 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 28 into North Cape, with 26 in Lunenburg, 24 in Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 46 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang and 35 in Canso. I'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A child has died and a teenager was seriously injured following a collision Friday night in northeastern New Brunswick. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Shila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. RCMP say the passenger on the moped, an 8-year-old boy, was rushed to hospital where he later died. The driver of the moped, a 17-year-old boy, was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The people in the vehicle were not physically injured. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Also in New Brunswick, a woman has been charged with attempted murder after a 74-year-old woman was found seriously injured in Woodstock. 1 week ago, officers responded to a home on Holton Street around 9 p.m. and found the injured woman outside. Shortly after, police say a suspect was arrested. Police say 23-year-old Destiny Innes was initially charged with assault causing bodily harm, but the charge has now been upgraded to attempted murder. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them or Crime Stoppers. New Brunswick's last powwow of the season was held Saturday in St. John. The powwow's grand entry and opening ceremonies began inside the city's TD station, featuring about 200 dancers. St. John only held its first traditional powwow in 2024. Planning for this year's gathering began immediately after last year's.
I love outdoor powwows, but it's really cool to have an indoor powwow, especially at this time of year. You don't know what the weather's going to be like either, right? And you want to take care of the people and the youth and our elders.
Planning is already underway for St. John's powwow next year. In all, there were a total of 12 powwows across New Brunswick this year. In Nova Scotia, the Halifax Shopping Centre was evacuated briefly Saturday afternoon. Shoppers were told to leave the mall shortly after 4 p.m. Several Halifax police vehicles could be seen parked outside of the mall. Police tell CTV News officers responded around 4:10 p.m. to a bomb threat. Police confirmed there was no bomb and a youth was arrested. Shoppers were allowed back inside shortly after the evacuation. A new exhibit at Fredericton's Beaverbrook Art Gallery is putting the spotlight on how modern graphic design has helped shape New Brunswick's history. And as CTV's Nick Moore shows us, it may also provoke some nostalgia too. Take a look.
It's a wall of logos that came to be during the earliest decades of modern graphic design, playing a key role in the development of New Brunswick's stories, products, and priorities.
There's a lot of emotion tied to design, right? People get really attached to branding and logos. And
Tanya Duffy is curator of Pursuing the New, a modern graphic design history of New Brunswick, which has just opened at the Beaverbrook Art Gallery in Fredericton, showcasing provincial logos, corporate identities, and organizational branding between the late 1930s and early 1990s. Duffy says she was inspired to begin work on the exhibit after rediscovering the 1965 logo for NBTel, the former New Brunswick telephone company.
it's such an example of epic modern graphic design. And at the time where you didn't see stuff like that, like they needed something that people would instantly recognize. And they needed something that would go on vehicles and you could see it from a distance in the snow.
The exhibit follows the evolution of Crown corporations from NB Liquor to NB Power, with a tip of the hat to former companies including Hatfield Potato Chips. Politics and policy are a focus, from the sleek but short-lived Le Parti Acadien image campaign to groundbreaking messaging during the 1960s period of equal opportunity.
They created brochures that went out in the mail. It was stamped on government envelopes.
The exhibit also tracks the evolution of New Brunswick's official government logo, which underwent a rebrand in the late 1980s. Initially, a New York ad company pitched a pivot from the ship to the maple leaf.
It was a bit more national looking and it got rejected in the end. And then it was redesigned in-house by the communications team here, still using the boat.
Duffy is hoping the collection will prompt appreciation for modern graphic design.
It's not something to take for granted, and we have plenty of examples of people who used it to benefit the province.
The exhibit runs until February and will be accompanied with a companion book launching in December. Nick Moore, CTV News, Fredericton.
Thank you, Nick. I love that.
I want to check that out.
Yeah, how many people, how many New Brunswickers were watching that, or people who grew up in New Brunswick are like, I remember that.
So great. Yeah, I would love to go to Fredericton and check that out. Okay, if you go to Calgary, you won't be served by this bartender for any more. But for a while, this bartender was certified to prove how slack officials might be when authorizing alcohol servers in Alberta. It's Phoebe, the 9-year-old pug and licensed bartender. The pug earned a valid provincial pro-serve license, the same one required for human servers, after an AI program completed the necessary online training for her. Now, a newly certified bartender in Calgary is drawing a lot of attention to how Alberta authorizes alcohol servers. It started as a joke, but it's putting a spotlight on gaps in the testing system. And following inquiries made by CTV to Alberta officials, Phoebe's certification has unfortunately or fortunately been revoked.
How dare they? She looks like she would be the best bartender.
I wouldn't mind like telling her all my troubles.
Right?
I know. Just like, let me get you another whiskey sour.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, we're going to take another break here. Latavia has more details on the wet forecast as we take a live look at Halifax Harbor. Still dark out there this morning. The time is 7:09. We'll be right back after this.
Beautiful sunrise starting off your Monday morning over in White Point. Welcome back. The time now is 7:12. Going to see some sunshine before increasing cloudiness and a chance of some scattered showers heads your way into the afternoon. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca, and we are seeing a cooler start to this work week. As of right now, 5 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, 8 starting off your day in both Charlottetown and Sydney, 6 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -4 in Labrador City, 7 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have an air quality, a special weather statement, actually, not an air quality warning. We have a special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. This is for today into tonight, ending Tuesday morning. We're looking at around 20 to 40 millimeters of precipitation. Also a rainfall warning in effect until Tuesday morning for parts of Nova Scotia. Could see around 40 to 60 millimeters of precipitation. So this low is going to track across the maritime region, bringing a chance of showers and periods of rain, at times heavy for parts of Nova Scotia. We are going to see a bit of wet weather for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, but not much. It's going to be quite light over there. And then into the evening hours, we will be seeing this precipitation stick around, taking us into early Tuesday morning, where we'll see fog develop, as well as some precipitation into the afternoon, around a 30% chance of it happening. So if you're wondering about precipitation totals, we're looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters across parts of New Brunswick, around 2 to 20 for Prince Edward Island, seeing the heaviest into eastern Nova Scotia at around 40 to 50 millimeters. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, going to remain quite light for Newfoundland. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. We're looking at wet weather throughout your day today. Daytime highs will range from 9 to 11 degrees and going to see wind pickup as well out of the north, 20 gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Daytime highs between 11 to 12 degrees for Prince Edward Island. Wet weather sticking around throughout the day, and same thing goes for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, but we will be seeing a cloudy start to your day and then showers moving into the afternoon for Cape Breton Island, and wind gusts still getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, highs between 9 to 12 degrees, scattered showers expected throughout your day. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, mostly sunshine today. We're looking at a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 5 degrees in Labrador City. A mix of sun and cloud also throughout the day for St. John's, Newfoundland. A high of 8. Periods of drizzle moves into the evening. So daytime highs for Tuesday will remain seasonal yet again. We will be seeing sunshine return, but also some lingering isolated showers expected for parts of the Maritime region. And then in our forecast for Wednesday, temperatures warm up just a bit. Sunshine returns yet again for much of Atlantic Canada. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. Canada's auto sector is bracing for a bumpy row ahead as U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war continues. The number of cars produced in Canada has already dropped by more than 50% in the last 2 decades. CTV's Colton Prale has more.
We don't want your cars, in all due respect. They're losing a lot of companies in Canada. He wants to make cars, we want to make cars, and we're in competition.
Donald Trump has been very clear. Vehicle manufacturing in Canada needs to come second to American production. Now, this Canadian business leader says Canada needs to consider cutting its losses.
There are a lot of jobs at stake in the auto industry. They're not coming after our parts sector, they're coming after our cars.
Canada's auto sector took a pair of heavy hits in October. Tuesday, General Motors announced it's ending production of its electric parcel van at the plant in Ingersoll, Ontario. The move came days after Stellantis announced planned production of the Jeep Compass in Brampton would happen in Illinois instead.
Making the vehicles is, pound for pound, about twice as valuable as making most parts.
Experts call Trump's policies an existential threat to the industry, but warn they'll take time to come into full effect.
Putting up a new automotive assembly plant can cost anywhere from $5 to $6 billion and take anywhere from 7 to 8 years.
Meanwhile, American auto giants announced massive windfalls this week after new White House subsidies for U.S.-produced vehicles.
The changes in policy, the proclamation that happened last Friday, gave us $1 billion of benefit.
Detroit's big 3 automakers make up 20% of the roughly 700,000 light vehicles made in Canada in the first half of 2025. This week, Ottawa punished GM and Stellantis for decreased Canadian production by lowering the number of vehicles they can import into the country tariff-free. This former auto exec says those measures should instead focus on boosting Canadian production from non-American automakers.
I think as we move forward and look at, what's the industry of the future, you want to put as many incentives in place that don't cost taxpayers money.
Meanwhile, Ford says it still plans to build new Super Duty pickups at its Oakville plant in 2026, even after Donald Trump announced new tariffs on trucks.
CTV's Colton Prale reporting in Ottawa. 2 suspects in the brazen heist of France's crown jewels from the Louvre have been arrested in Paris. One man was arrested as he prepared to board a flight out of the country. The other was arrested in a suburb north of Paris. Thieves stole 8 pieces worth an estimated $142 million from the Louvre's collection. The museum's director says they took advantage of a gap in the museum's security surveillance. Private and public security cameras nearby helped detectives track the thieves. Investigators also found DNA samples and fingerprints at the scene. Finally, the World Series is tied at 1 game apiece with Game 3 tonight in LA. The LA Dodgers beat the Blue Jays 5-1 in Toronto on Saturday. Despite the loss, fans still enjoying the ride and feeling confident. The series shifts to Dodger Stadium for 3 games with Bo Bichette starting at second base. Last year, the Dodgers beat the Yankees in New York for their 8th World Series title. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll get details on a firefighter's calendar that is looking to support the mental health of our first responders. That's coming up.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 7:21, and it's the time of year to start thinking about what calendar you want for 2026. Our next guests have an option that will bring 12 months of inspiration to your home and into the homes of everyone on your gift list. The Fight for Life calendar is in its 5th year, featuring firefighters and their beloved pets, with proceeds going towards supporting the mental well-being of those who put their lives at risk to help others. Here to tell us more is Captain Mike Sears and Fight for Life charity president, and Captain Anne, who is the calendar's creator. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we have the calendar here. Mike, I want you to tell us a little bit more about the organization it supports, Fight for Life.
Okay, so Fight for Life was started in 2018 after the tragic suicide of firefighter Kyle Curry. Between myself and a few other people, Claudia and Randy, his parents, and some of their friends, we decided to do something about it. So we tried to bridge a gap in service coverage and education for Halifax professional firefighters, active and retired, with respects to mental and behavioral health.
All right, tell us a little bit about Kyle.
He was a character, and I miss him dearly every day. He was one of my best friends, and you know, Kyle, through his time in his career, ended up encountering a number of stressors that ultimately were too much. So a lot of people didn't see it until it was too late. And one of the things we're really pushing because of that is proactivity. So to catch things before they become an issue. You know, Kyle was everyone's #1 fan, a couple of our friends used to say, and I know there's a lot of members in the service that miss him every day.
I know, Annette, I introduced you as Anne. I'm confused because your dog's name is Annie. Yes. And your name's Annette Thompson. Yes. And you started the calendar. Tell us a little bit about how you pull it all together. We have in each one images of firefighters and a beloved pet.
So we've had therapy dogs at the fire department for well over 15 years. And as the dogs would come in, people would tell you about what pets they have at home and what support those pets give. So this year and every year, I'll put out a little call and say, would somebody like to be in our calendar? And then by that, they also get to know more about Fight for Life. They get to talk about their own personal story, how pets or anything in their lives have impacted them. And this year, we've got 2 people getting ready to retire. So we've got 2 people in our calendar who could be their last year for being in their calendar.
Well, the calendars are beautiful. The photography is so colorful and bright. What has the response been like from the community?
I think it's been a lot, it's been a lot of support, and we've even found that people will, they just want to donate money. They don't necessarily want the calendar, and then ultimately, people are really in behind the message of putting services to those in need. And you know, sad to say, there's a huge need for proactive education and support, and also on the reactive side, because a lot of times you don't see things happening until it's too late, and unfortunately, then it comes into, well, where's the money coming from to pay for programming? So once people understand that and they see what we're doing and why, it's been really well received.
Well, the calendar is raising money for an important cause, Fight for Life, and it's also drawing awareness to the issue of mental health stress that so many firefighters face. Annette, you said it's okay if we pet these dogs.
Oh, please.
Dogs in training. So I'll pet Siren and Annie. They are gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
A lot of brushing going on in the Thompson household.
Always. And Annie is, she's the one in training, so she's hopefully going to be certified within the next 6 months. Siren's been with us now as a certified therapy dog for over 3 years.
Well, thank you both for coming in this morning. The calendars are great news online. Great news, by the way, Sarah. Great news. The calendars are available online, and they will be for sale various in-person locations starting on Friday. We put a link on our website to make it easy for you to find out more about Fight for Life. Now we turn things over to you, Latavia.
Thanks, Crystal. We're taking a look at our 3-day forecast. We're looking at showers across the province today with a high of 9. 10 degrees on Tuesday. We will be seeing a mix of sun and cloud, but still lingering isolated showers expected for the southern region. Sunshine across the province on Wednesday with a high of 12. For Nova Scotia, also looking at wet weather. Could see some sunny breaks into the afternoon, a high of 12. 12 degrees also for your daytime high on Tuesday with periods of rain across the province. Showers clear out, leaving sunshine across the province on Wednesday, a high of 13. For Prince Edward Island, looking at showers today with a high of 11. 10 degrees on Tuesday with sunny skies into the afternoon. Sunshine remains in the forecast on Wednesday with a high of 11.
Just ahead in this half hour, getting ready for the World Ringette Championship. We'll chat with Moncton's Brittany Snowden, who's been playing since she was a youngin'. And now she's getting ready to represent the Maple Leaf in Finland. It's a lot of growing up. That's coming up in 15 minutes here on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Thanks for joining us, 7:30 on this Monday, halfway through the show already.
Yeah.
So excited to have Annie and Siren in for this calendar.
Oh, so sweet.
They're for sale $20 online and then in person soon. But we want to thank Annie and Siren for coming in. What's so fun is that there's the picture of the firefighter with the pet and then like a close-up of the pet.
I love that.
That's adorable.
So
oh my goodness.
You know what we have around this, the newsroom around here too? A bunch of Fight for Life mugs as well. Occasionally you'll see some.
And then there's the close-up of the dog. See?
Oh, that
there
is
you go.
Dog.
So cute.
Oh yeah, we
That's
need this.
adorable.
I need to get this. I know several people in my life who would love this.
Right? Yeah, me included. Oh my gosh, this is
for Life,
adorable.
too.
Great cause
so important
too.
to shine a spotlight on that organization doing such great work.
Oh my gosh, geez, 2026. Right around the corner.
Oh my
goodness. It's gonna be a good year. Gonna be a great year.
I'm barely just remembering that it's 2025.
I know. I know. Oh my gosh, the years are passing by. Maybe you think about that too when you mark your birthday.
Yeah.
Time's flying by. We're asking you, what's your favorite birthday cake? Why is it? Especially, maybe you don't even like cake. Maybe you're like, no, I don't want cake for my birthday, but I have to have this as a special treat. Let us know. Text us at 10400 and we'll share your answers later in the show. But until then, we're saying good morning to Tangier.
Absolutely, and we are going to see a chance of showers early this morning over in Tangier. We'll take a look. There you go. A little bit of sunshine early this morning, though, but we do have that chance of showers that will transition over to periods of rain into the late afternoon. It's currently 6 degrees in your area. We are going to see a cooler start to the day for much of Atlantic Canada. Keep that in mind when you are heading out, and precipitation tracking across parts of the region. As of right now, 5 degrees in Fredericton, 8 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, 6 in Halifax, -4 degrees over in Labrador City, and 7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. This will be ending Tuesday morning, as well as a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Nova Scotia, also ending Tuesday. Over to our satellite and radar, you can see this low that's currently tracking across the region, bringing a chance of some showers, periods of rain, seeing the heaviest into parts of Nova Scotia today. Newfoundland and Labrador seeing a bit of sunshine, but also a chance of some isolated showers. Over to the current winds for the Maritime region. As of right now, out of the north and northeast, 33 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in North Cape and Grand Etang, 24 into Canso with 20 in Truro. Only one wind gust at this time, getting up to 35 kilometers per hour in Canso. We'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 7:33. We begin in New Brunswick, where a child has died and a teen was seriously injured following a collision Friday night. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Chila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. RCMP say the passenger on the moped, an 8-year-old boy, was rushed to hospital where he later died. The driver of the moped, a 17-year-old boy, was also taken to hospital with serious injuries. The people in the vehicle were not physically injured. The cause of the crash is under investigation. While Canadians are gripped by baseball fever right now, a lot of parents are finding themselves infuriated because of another sport, minor hockey. In PEI, some say they were blindsided when fees more than doubled this fall. CTV's Maria Saru has more on why the cost to play Canada's game keeps going up.
The puck drops at this Charlottetown rink, but for parents, the real hit is to the wallet. Some say new fees for minor hockey are too high.
Why the heck are they so much more this year than they have been?
Andrew Wood says his son's team fee was $1,600 last year, split between players. This fall, after two city leagues merged, the price jumped to $4,000. That's on top of registration.
Most parents seem to be quite annoyed as well. I'm fortunate I only have the one child playing sports, but at the same time, I'm also a single income family.
CTV News reached out to the Greater Charlottetown Minor Hockey Association and Hockey PEI to ask about fee increases, but neither responded by our deadline. The association is governed by a volunteer board, and according to its website, registration and team fees cover things like ice time, referees, and some equipment. Those line items now cost more, according to operators. Leaders at Lug Sports, a recreational league that runs hockey games across Canada and the U.S., say inflation is pushing the baseline up.
Typically, when you see increases in some of the larger costs associated with operating a program, with ice time being the number one cost, it can happen that the price would increase for the player.
Back at the arena, Wood says his son has 1 year left before aging out of minor hockey, so he'll do what it takes to keep him on the ice until then. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Thank you, Maria. A New Brunswick man has been charged in what police are calling a firearm-related incident in St. Antoine. Police say officers responded to a complaint of shots fired at two people on Haute Saint Damien Road on Saturday, October 18th. One person suffered minor injuries and was treated at the scene. Police say 33-year-old Nathan LeBlanc has now been charged with a dozen offenses, including assault and careless use of a firearm. Finally, a unique fall fundraiser in Masstown, Nova Scotia is aiming to help people living with cystic fibrosis. It's all in honor of Chantel Lindsay, who passed away in 2020. CTV's Emma Convey was there for the growing event.
2, 1. Pumpkin soaring for a purpose, as every blast raises funds for cystic fibrosis.
An event like this she would have loved it. And that's why we don't have a fee to come in. She would want everybody to be able to come.
Chantel's cystic fibrosis pumpkin blast is in its 5th year. It featured live music, pumpkin carving, pie eating contests, a kids zone, and of course, shooting pumpkins out of cannons. All in memory of Mark and Kelly Lindsay's daughter, Chantel.
She was a really great example of a daughter. She played hockey, she played lacrosse. She never pitied herself, she never felt bad. She was no different than anybody else.
At 3 months old, Chantel was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. She managed her symptoms throughout most of her childhood, but in her 20s, she was admitted to hospital. And 5 years ago, at the age of 23, she passed away. At the time, Mark says they fought hard to get access to a drug from the U.S. to help their daughter, but it wasn't approved for use in Canada until after she died. They wanted to put the funds saved for the medication to use.
We've had lots of people help us in the past, and we want to continue on with the funds that were left after she had passed and created the fund.
And that's been the case. Last year, they raised $52,000. They expected a bigger turnout this year, estimating around 4,000 people. Blake Jennings, who owns the Pumpkin Jungle, feels grateful to be a part of this and proud of its growth.
It spreads awareness. You know, we raise crucial funds to help out with people in their battle for cystic fibrosis, and the Chantel Lindsay Legacy Fund going to CF Warriors.
The event has become a tradition for many families, especially Sarah Sutherland, who was Chantel's nurse.
We've had some amazing advancements in healthcare and the treatments for cystic fibrosis, but we're not done the fight. We still need to raise funds for research and what Mark and Kelly do with their fund for scholarships. You know, these people have such a future now.
The Lindsay family hopes this fundraiser is around for years and will not only help those living with CF in Nova Scotia, but all of Atlantic Canada. Emma Convey, CTV News, Masstown, Nova Scotia.
Wow, what an event.
I know, that big giant pumpkin launcher too.
Oh my goodness.
That's something
So
to see.
cool. Raising money in Chantel's memory, and also to just a great way for the family to have fun together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great idea, and just such a worthy cause. Okay, let's talk about money right now. A lot of it, all right? If you're still riding the high of Oasis's Live 25 tour, if you got a ticket, good for you. You're gonna love this story about a famous guitar. Noel Gallagher's 1960 red Gibson guitar was recently auctioned off, and it's the same one that Liam famously damaged during a bust-up on stage in Paris in 2009. That altercation led to the band's end of that band's tour and the end of that show, and then they drove a wedge between the brothers for years. There's the guitar. Auctioneers say it went for 290,000 British pounds, or the equivalent of about $500,000 Canadian. So that's a fair bit of cash.
Wow.
Obviously,
Beautiful,
it's been
though.
restored because I guess it was whacked around like an axe that night in Paris.
The drama.
Yes. Oh gosh. Well, they seem to hold it. The Gallagher brothers seem to have held it together. Okay.
Yes, I'm glad they made it through the entire tour. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, time for another break on this Monday. We hope you stick around. Coming up in our next section, the World Ringette Championship. It's almost here. We're going to hear from a New Brunswicker donning the maple leaf and representing our country. Stay with us. We'll have her story when we return.
Okay.
Good morning. It is a wet start to the day over in Halls Harbor, currently 6 degrees. We're expecting periods of rain early this morning. Then we'll clear out, leaving cloudy skies, but we do still have a chance of some scattered showers into the afternoon. Time now is 7:44. You will want to layer up early this morning as it is a cool start to the day. 5 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, 8 degrees starting off your day in Charlottetown and Sydney, 6 currently in Halifax with -4 over in Labrador City, 7 degrees starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for both parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia today into tonight. This will be ending Tuesday morning, looking at around 20 to 40 millimeters of precipitation expected. A rainfall warning also in effect for parts of Nova Scotia. This will be ending Tuesday morning as well, looking around 40 to 60 millimeters. Over to our forecast timeline, a bit of fog early this morning already beginning to dissipate. A cloudier start to the day for much of the region. Although we will be seeing sunshine early this morning for parts of Atlantic Canada, we do have precipitation tracking across the region. So this low that's currently over the Maritime region, bringing a chance of showers and or periods of rain, at times heavy. The heaviest of that precipitation will be focused into parts of eastern Nova Scotia and mainland Nova Scotia. Taking us into the afternoon, much of the same expected wet weather sticking around, and taking us into the evening hours, we are going to see a bit of clearing for parts of New Brunswick, but still seeing that chance of showers persist for much of the Maritime region. Also, fog will develop into the near midnight, taking us into early Tuesday morning. We are going to see a chance of showers return for parts of the Maritimes, but we will be seeing some sunshine in our forecast tomorrow as well. If you're wondering about the precipitation tracking across the region today, we're looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters across New Brunswick. For Prince Edward Island, same thing, 2 to 20 millimeters expected. The heaviest of the precipitation will be focused into New Glasgow at around 40 to 50 millimeters. And for Newfoundland and Labrador not seeing any totals and quite light for parts of Newfoundland today. For our forecast today, we see wet weather moving across New Brunswick with highs between 8 to 11 degrees. Looking at that wet weather sticking around into the evening as well. Wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Daytime highs between 11 to 12 degrees for Prince Edward Island. Still seeing that wet weather as well across the island today. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia. Cloudy start to your day. Showers moving in for Cape Breton into the afternoon. And we are going to see a wind gust getting up to 40. For the rest of Nova Scotia, same thing applies. We're looking at highs between 9 to 12 degrees and scattered showers expected throughout the day. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing a bit more sunshine today. A high of 5 degrees in Labrador City with a mix of sun and cloud. Also seeing sunshine for St. John's, Newfoundland. A mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. Periods of drizzle moves into the evening. For Tuesday's forecast, temperatures remain seasonal for the most part. We are going to see sunshine return in our forecast. Still some lingering isolated showers for parts of the Maritime region. And then into our forecast for Wednesday, much of the same expected. Temperatures warm up a bit, and we are going to see a mix of sun and clouds. Stick around, Crystal.
Thank you, Latavia. It's 7:46. The 2025 World Ringette Championship is 1 week from today, being held in Finland. The global competition gives players the chance to shine on an international level. Moncton native Brittany Snowden has been the point-scoring champion in the National Ringette League for 3 consecutive years for the Atlantic Attack, and she'll be representing Team Canada this year. She joins us this morning. We're super happy to have Brittany live. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure. Congratulations on making it to Finland again.
Thank you so much.
We're really excited for you. Now, you've been to Finland 3 times, and I was just doing a little research about this. It seems like there's quite a rivalry between Finland and Canada in ringette.
Yes, they are very, very great athletes out there. Different style of play. So we just have to kind of bring our game into their stomping grounds.
What's it like to wear the maple leaf and actually represent your country on the ice?
Oh gosh, I love this sport so, so much. So it's such an honor to be able to wear the maple leaf and represent our country. Looking down the Canadian roster, we have such a deep team. I'm playing amongst amazing athletes, and to be a part of this group is such a dream.
Yeah, now there's another maritimer headed to Finland with you, Manon Vautour, and there was supposed to be another, but why will she not be playing this year?
Yeah, so the other player that is supposed to be attending Worlds is my sister, Jenny. She is pregnant this year, so unfortunately for our team, but great for her and to start her family, she won't be joining us this year, and she's not playing on my league team this year either for that reason.
Well, that's an exciting time for your family. Tell a little bit about getting into ringette, because I bet a lot of parents are curious and might say, well, this might be a sport for my child. Like, how did your family get you girls into the sport?
It's a great question. My father actually saw a clip in a newspaper ad, and they all started playing hockey, and my parents are kind of trying to find the right sport for us. So I'm the youngest of 4 girls. My older sister was kind of the guinea pig for all those sports. And we just fell upon ringette because my oldest sister, one of her friends was playing, and my dad again saw the paperclip in the newspaper. So she joined it and fell in love right away, and I kind of just followed in my sister's footsteps.
It's so wonderful that your parents captured this footage of you on the ice as a little girl, and then you get going through the moving up through the ranks in the sport. I've never played ringette. What does it feel like to play? I understand it's quite a fast-moving game.
Oh, they call it the fastest game on ice. So unlike hockey, you don't have a blade. You have the ring in your stick, so you really can focus on skating and the deking, and it's so creative. It's such a beautiful sport. It's very, very fast. There's no offside, so you can be ahead of the play. It's just such an incredible, you can be so creative and crash in with your speed. It's amazing. Great sport.
I mean, I know Canada's going to put an amazing team on the ice. We wish you all the best of luck next week in Finland. Can I ask a quick question about starting in the sport? What is a good age to start your child in ringette?
You can start at 4 years old. So unlike hockey, it's 5. So a lot of people put their children in ringette just to kind of get them to start skating at first, and then hockey's 5. So 4 years old, but I mean, I was starting when I was 3 in the backyard. My dad made an outdoor rink, so.
Well, it's a love that lasts a lifetime. I understand that now you continue to work even though you work full-time as a dental hygienist. How do you balance that with being a world-class athlete?
Yeah, it's a tough job. I mean, physically, but I have really great offices that I work for, and I let them know in advance, like, hey, this is the sport I play, this is the time off I need, and they're so great about it. So it's really great.
Well, Brittany, have a great competition this year in Finland. Thank you so much, and thanks for your time. It is our pleasure. Brittany is off to the World Ringette Championships in Finland on November 3rd. Now we're going to head over to Amanda for health and medical news.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Health and medical news now. Doctors have long known that heat puts a strain on the heart, kidneys, and other organs, but those risks are exacerbated for pregnant people as the body's processes for staying cool are altered. It is one of the topics in Your Health with CTV's Callum Smith.
It's a problem that climate change is worsening as intensifying extreme heat events, high temperatures into the night, and shattering weather records means more exposure for pregnant women, particularly in developing countries. As pregnancy progresses, the body burns more calories, creating internal heat. The heart has to work harder, which can already be strained by extreme heat, and pregnant women also need more liquid to stay hydrated, so they might get dehydrated more easily, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Scientists say that women should be educated on their risk and be vigilant about their exposure, not just for their own health, but for their babies too. A tiny microchip is helping people living with a rare eye disease see again. The disease is called geographical atrophy, and it affects about 5 million people around the world. The disease causes a slow deterioration of the small oval-shaped area in the center of the retina. It is responsible for central vision, which allows us to see colors and find details clearly. It's now being treated experimentally by researchers who insert a microchip into the retina, which projects an enlarged image into a pair of augmented reality glasses. Scientists say 80% of trial participants had some of their sight restored. Finally, some Toronto Blue Jays fans say they've noticed a mental health boost ever since their team clinched a spot in the World Series. A registered psychologist in BC says research shows being immersed in a sports community can actually improve a person's sense of well-being. A study of football fans in Italy published earlier this year found a positive association between fandom and subjective well-being, driven by the fostering of a social identity with fellow fans. It adds to numerous studies that have examined whether being a sports fan is good or bad for your health. That includes a 2017 study that found the heart rate of Montreal Canadiens fans more than doubled during live games, equivalent to vigorous physical stress.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones on Sunday. It's a 62nd anniversary for John and Margie McGilvery of Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
Oh, happy anniversary, you two. What a beautiful photo taken 62 years ago yesterday. And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones today. It is a 69th anniversary for Bill and Leona Ward of Stanley, Nova Scotia. Great story. I was a little distracted looking at this great photo.
I know,
Loving
it's beautiful.
Just gorgeous.
All right, it's also a 76th anniversary for Isabel and Clarence Christie of Dartmouth.
76
wow,
years married.
Incredible.
That is incredible. Gorgeous photo taken 76 years ago. Now, if you would like to see your milestone again, you can scan the QR code on your screen, and a reminder that milestones must be received at least 2 weeks in advance.
Milestones, brought to you by the Berkeley Retirement Residences. Love this stage of life.
So very exciting, the annual Christmas Daddies Telethon takes place on December 6th, and preparations are well underway.
The fundraising calendars are now on sale, but another big part of the celebrations are the Christmas Daddies t-shirts. We sent cameraman James Morrison to see how they're made.
Good morning, I'm Aaron Matthews, shop manager at Advanced Screen Printing in Halifax. We've just received the Consumer Choice Award for 2025. It's an honor. It's nice to get some recognition for hard work. We have a great team here at Advanced. Everybody puts in their effort, and you know, you can't expect to always get praise for that effort, but every once in a while you get something that shows you you're doing the right thing. We're happy to receive it. Today we're on our 25th year printing Christmas Daddies shirts, roughly around 10,000 shirts that we've done so far. We feel it's important to give back to the community in whatever way we can. This is a small thing that we can give back by donating the t-shirts to the Christmas Daddies Telethon, because it's all about helping the kids at Christmas time.
I'll hang around the mistletoe, waiting for you, dear.
This job takes 2 printers and 1 person stacking shirts at the end of the dryer. Roughly about 2.5 hours to complete this order, fronts and backs. Basically, the process is you dry the first layer. So you print 1 layer, you dry it, then you print the second layer, then it runs through the dryer at about 320, 330 degrees. That cures the ink. Then it's ready to be stacked up for the next print.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
To me, Christmas Daddies is something that I've been watching since I was a kid, and I guess now it means making shirts and hopefully putting smiles on some kids' faces. And we're very happy to be involved with the Christmas Daddies program, and it feels good to give back, and it's a great cause. Look forward to doing it again in the future.
They look great, crisp screen printing.
So
very
cool to
nicely
see behind
done.
the scenes. And speaking of daddies, the Navy divers make waves in the water, but they're pretty unstoppable on land too.
Huge round of applause to everyone here today. We're ready to sign it up.
Members of the Fleet Diving Unit Atlantic ran a total of 50 kilometers over the weekend on the Salt Marsh Trail for the 43rd annual Navy Divers Run in support of Christmas Daddies. For a second year in a row, the run was open to the public and took place ahead of December's Daddies Telethon. 35 people registered, raising more than $3,500 for their fundraising campaign, which helps make the holiday season a little brighter for maritime children. Congrats to all. 50K!
Amazing.
All right, it's time for a break now. We're going to run into this little break and return in about 2 minutes' time to continue with the 8 o'clock hour of our show.
Monday, October 27th, today on Your Morning Atlantic, Nashville country stars to pay tribute to Anne Murray at an Opry House concert tonight. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And baby goats. I recently visited Hatfield Farm to meet some of their newest residents, and we'll make the introductions a little later. That's coming up on the Monday edition. Oh yeah, Your Morning Atlantic.
Oh.
I mean, is it a Friday? No, it's Monday, but we got baby goats coming up on the show, courtesy of Hatfield Farm. Looking forward to that visit, Crystal.
It was so great. The little one jumping so gleefully, that's Alfredo. He was born with a deformity. His front legs are too short and his back legs are kind of stiff.
Doesn't look like it's stopping him.
Snarl in the back at all. We'll get to meet Alfredo in a bit.
Adorable.
Oh, my gosh, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, yeah, and a big tribute to Anne Murray.
That's exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
Happening
Some
tonight.
people call her the goat.
That is very
That is true.
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time. Just in case you don't know the acronym.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the weather now.
Yeah.
A bit of a wet start to the day for parts of the region. Just something to keep in mind when you are heading out. So here's a live look at St. John. We are going to see 6 degrees starting off your day this morning. Actually 5 rather. It is a cool start to the day, so you're gonna wanna layer up. And we are expecting periods of rain throughout the day, so you may wanna allot some extra time out on your morning commute. 5 degrees also starting off your day in Fredericton, 8 in Charlottetown and Sydney, 6 degrees early this morning in Halifax with 7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to the special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, seeing wet weather today, ending Tuesday morning, as well as a rainfall warning in effect, also ending Tuesday morning for parts of Nova Scotia. Here's that low that's currently tracking across much of the maritime region, bringing a chance of showers, as well as rain at times heavy, being the heaviest into parts of Nova Scotia today. Newfoundland and Labrador going to see some sunshine, but also seeing a low chance of some spotty showers. Over to the current winds across the maritime region. Out of the north and northeast this morning, 33 kilometers per hour in North Cape, as well as into Grand Etang, 24 into Canso with 20 in Truro, 22 in Lunenburg. Only one wind gust to notify you of, getting up to 35 in Canso. We'll have another look at your long-range forecasts ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
And no ferry crossings between Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia this morning. In a social media post, Northumberland Ferry says due to an ongoing technical issue, the morning crossings between Wood Islands PEI and Caribou, Nova Scotia are canceled. Now, this comes after several Saturday crossings were canceled, also due to technical issues. Crossings did resume yesterday morning. In New Brunswick, a child has died and a teenager seriously injured following a collision Friday night in northeastern parts of the province. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Shila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. Police say the passenger on the moped, an 8-year-old boy, was rushed to hospital where he later died. The driver of the moped, a 17-year-old boy, was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The people in the vehicle were not physically hurt. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Also in New Brunswick, a woman has been charged with attempted murder after a 74-year-old woman was found seriously injured in Woodstock. 1 week ago, officers were called to a home on Holton Street around 9 p.m. and found the injured woman outside. Shortly after, police say a suspect was arrested. Police say 23-year-old Destiny Innes was initially charged with assault causing bodily harm, but the charge has now been upgraded to attempted murder. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them. New Brunswick's last powwow of the season was held Saturday in St. John. The powwow's grand entry and opening ceremonies began inside the city's TD station, featuring about 200 dancers. St. John only held its first traditional powwow in 2024. Planning for this year's gathering began immediately after last year's.
Outdoor powwows, but it's really cool to have an indoor powwow, especially at this time of year. You don't know what the weather's going to be like either, right? And you want to take care of the people and the youth and our elders.
Planning is already underway for St. John's powwow next year. In all, there were a total of 12 powwows across New Brunswick this year. Police in Central Labrador are investigating 4 fires that could have been caused by an arsonist. The RCMP in Happy Valley Goose Bay say the structure fires were reported Friday night and into Saturday morning. No one was hurt. Between 11:45 p.m. and 3:10 a.m., 2 homes were destroyed by a fire, and between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., an abandoned building was engulfed in flames, and an office building was found burning when police responded. Some of country music's top stars will celebrate Anne Murray's signature sound in Nashville tonight. The 80-year-old East Coast legend is set to attend the Music of My Life, an all-star tribute to Anne Murray, which takes place at the Opry House. It's an evening that will reunite the Snowbird singer with many good friends and longtime country music connections. Among performers, Katie Lang and also Trisha Yearwood. Earlier this year, Murray received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Junos, which added to her 93 induction into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Every year, Canadians, they spend billions of dollars on repairs and maintenance services. But in PEI yesterday, volunteers offered some of those fixes for free, restoring items like small appliances. CTV's Maria Saru on how this event rolls into a national movement to repair, not replace.
On the long list for fixers, socks with loose seams, dull knives that need sharpening, and one blender with a broken motor.
I just feel sad to throw it away if it's fixable.
A mechanic told Ling Yama a service would cost more than a new machine. But at Charlottetown's free Fix-It Fair, the goal is simple: repair, not replace. Vivian Zhou came for that reason.
One hand, I can save money. The other hand, that I can save the resource.
Not every problem can be solved, but this is one last try before the landfill.
We've been having a lot of electronic waste and piles of it going in the garbage. So this was a great opportunity.
This event is part of a national push to expand what's called the right to repair. Advocates say some manufacturers make it harder for people to fix their own items through design choices or restricting access to parts, manuals, or diagnostic tools. For example, some products are hard to open, need codes only the company can access, or use components that don't stand the test of time.
Even technology which can run longer than its expectation has software issues that will shut it down or prohibit its effectiveness.
Volunteer fixers offered hands-on help and how-tos.
It can give people an opportunity to see it done, and then maybe next time they might try it.
The hope is more sessions, more skills sharing, and more items with longer lives. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Great idea.
No, thank you, Maria, for that report. Love that. Instead of just throwing out and adding to the landfill.
I know, I know. I keep some crazy glue in a drawer. It's amazing how that fixes a lot of stuff.
I've seen her use it on her nails.
That's true. If you have ripped nail, ripped shoe.
It works.
You know, lots of stuff. Anyway. We hear so much about therapy animals on our show. In fact, we have this calendar. Some of them are therapy animals. It's just 2026 Fight for Life calendar on sale as of today. We had an interview with earlier on the show.
Yeah.
But it's usually dogs, occasionally other animals. In this case, it's miniature horses. Never seen that before.
Oh, what a dream.
Oh, look at all the hay.
City, I know a senior's home was recently visited by 2 miniature horses. 17-year-old Pearl and 15-year-old Aiden are from Horseability, a therapeutic riding center on New York's Long Island. They travel the region to brighten up spirits at nursing homes, rehab facilities, and children's hospitals. The horses' owners say Pearl and Aiden particularly like visiting the seniors because they tend to be calm and gentle, which makes the horses feel calm and gentle.
They're adorable.
No, that is so Sweet. I love with miniature horses. They're so small, like you don't need a proper like horse trailer to carry them
I know.
around.
It was literally a van, and then when it came out, all the hay came out of it with
Yeah, it's true.
So cute.
Yeah, they keep a big broom nearby too. Okay, still ahead, Latavia has the latest on the forecast for this Monday, last Monday of October. And then coming up, we're heading to the farm, Hatfield Farm to be specific. They've got some very cute new residents. We'll meet some brand new baby goats. Plus, I'll have your national headlines, so stick around. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back after this.
Happy Monday and welcome back. The time now is 8:12. We're taking a live look at a cool start to the day over in Lockport. Keep that in mind when you are heading out in that area today. But beautiful sunshine early this morning, then increasing cloudiness is expected before a chance of showers into the afternoon. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. We are seeing a cooler start to the day for Atlantic Canada. Temperatures will warm up today, but will remain seasonal for the most part. Currently, starting off the day, 6 degrees over in Fredericton with 9. Starting off your day in Charlottetown and Sydney. 5 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -5 in Labrador City, -1 over in Happy Valley Goose Bay. 5 degrees in Gander and 7 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of both New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. This will be ending Tuesday morning. We are expecting around 20 to 40 millimeters of precipitation. Also, a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Nova Scotia into tonight and ending Tuesday morning. We're looking at around 40 to 60 millimeters of precipitation expected. So here's that low currently tracking across the region. It is bringing a chance of showers and periods of rain, at times heavy. So the heaviest of that precipitation will be focused in on eastern Nova Scotia and parts of mainland Nova Scotia as well. Into the evening, much of the same is expected. That wet weather will take us into early Tuesday morning before clearing, and then we're going to see sunshine in our forecast for Tuesday, but also seeing some isolated showers lingering. If you're wondering about how much precipitation we're going to receive, we're looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters for New Brunswick, as well as into Prince Edward Island, and the heaviest being 40 to 50 millimeters expected for New Glasgow. Light amounts indicated for parts of Newfoundland. Over to the wet forecast starting off your day for New Brunswick. Wet weather will stick around throughout the day today. Daytime highs will range from 8 to 11 degrees and wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Highs between 11 to 12 degrees for Prince Edward Island. We will be seeing showers throughout the day as well. And a chance of showers is expected for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, with highs between 9 to 12 degrees. For the rest of Nova Scotia, same thing applies. We're looking at a 30 to 60% chance of showers throughout the day, with highs between 9 to 11. Over to Newfoundland and Labrador, we are seeing more sunshine over there. 5 degrees for Labrador City with a mix of sun and cloud, and a mix of sun and cloud also expected for St. John's, a high of 9, seeing periods of drizzle into the evening. Over to our Tuesday forecast. We will be seeing some sunshine return, a bit cloudier for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Still seeing a chance of showers for parts of Newfoundland as well as into Nova Scotia. That will clear out on Wednesday. Temperatures will warm up just a bit, and we will be seeing a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. Canadians will soon have to be photographed when entering and exiting the U.S. That's according to new rules from the Department of Homeland Security. The new condition will apply to travelers no matter how they cross, whether it's by land, air, or through a port. It is part of a move to collect biometric data introduced several years ago. No word yet on when this would be rolled out. We'll have more on this at 8:30. Meantime, snowbirds or anyone else flying to the U.S. and even across Canada should expect delays in the coming days. CTV's Heather Wright explains why.
As the U.S. government shutdown enters its 4th week, travelers here in Canada are bracing for impact.
It's stressful. Everything's stressful.
Roughly 13,000 air traffic controllers and about 50,000 Transportation Security Administration officers are working without pay during the government shutdown. Staffing shortages are 4 times higher than usual, and delays are expected to get even worse this week, with more controllers choosing to stay home rather than work for free. That not only means delays for Canadians traveling to the States, but also for domestic flights. Because the North American airspace is so integrated, planes often cross the border during flights.
If they have a shortage in the northern perimeters, that would in fact impact on the routing, the timing, and departure time of some of our Canadian operations.
Both the United States and Canada have been dealing with a shortage of air traffic controllers. Winnipeg and Kelowna airports have had to briefly close this year due to staffing, typically when the one controller on duty goes on a break. In a statement, Nav Canada, which manages the country's air navigation system, said the closures were precautionary measures taken under our fatigue risk management system to ensure safe operations and protect the well-being of our employees, while noting the closures are generally limited and brief, and that the Winnipeg closure lasted no longer than 30 minutes. But with the busy holiday season approaching, travel could get even bumpier.
We fear there will be significant flight delays, disruptions, and cancellations in major airports across the country this holiday season.
It was air travel that helped end the 35-day government shutdown back in 2019 when 10 air traffic controllers stayed home, snarling air travel and leading to a public outcry. Delays are expected to get worse this week, though it's not clear if it will be enough to get the U.S. government reopened. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
And the World Series is tied at 1 game apiece with Game 3 at 9 o'clock tonight in L.A. The L.A. Dodgers beat the Blue Jays 5-1 in Toronto on Saturday. Now, despite the loss, fans still enjoying the ride and feeling confident. The series shifts to Dodger Stadium for 3 games with Bo Bichette starting at second base. Last year, the Dodgers beat the Yankees in New York for their 8th World Series title. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic, but stay with us. We have lots more to come in our last 40 minutes of the show. We'll be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. Here's a reminder, this is how you can connect with us. You can email us at yourmorningatlantic.ca or you can text us at 10400. And this is the thing, you can text us with photos, comments. It doesn't have to be about our Move Morning Chat, but if you'd like to weigh in on that, today's topic is, what's your favorite kind of birthday cake? And now we're going to turn our attention over to the cutest guest you're going to see all week.
Not bad work if you can get it. We're at Hatfield Farm with the newest additions to the farm. Hello. Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. I'm joined by Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
She is basically our goat interpreter today. You do everything here at the farm. Tell us about these little cuties.
So these guys were born a few days ago. This is their mom, Fern. 2 boys. They don't have names yet because we haven't come across any names that we are quite taken with yet, but we're still on the lookout, so they're to be determined.
So precious. And they're wearing sweaters. There's a story there. What's going on with these sweaters?
Well, a lady came into the office and she dropped them off for them. She knitted about 6 of them. So she hand knitted them. Her name is Gina, and we are very grateful to her, so thank you. And yeah, and they fit perfect, and they're so cute.
They're so cute. The goats seem to love wearing them.
Yeah, they're nice and cuddly.
You want to go down and see Mama? Oh, hi, Fern. Thank you for letting us visit your baby boys. How are you? You look great. Just had goats days ago.
Yeah, she rebounded fast.
What a gorgeous girl. Okay, we love visiting the farm, especially when they're baby goats. Tell us a little bit more about what you can do here.
Well, so our petting pen is open 6 days a week from 10 to 5. We're only closed on Tuesdays. So if you come any other day except Tuesday, you can come visit these guys. We have horses and pigs and alpacas and donkeys and other things. On certain weekends, we run our family roundup. So you take a wagon back to our other area called Fort Clayton, and if you don't know what that is, there's a whole bunch of details on our website, but we feed you lunch, there's wagon rides, mechanical bulls, everything.
It's a good time. And great news, a couple more of the mamas are pregnant, so more babies are coming.
Right, pretty soon. We have about 3 or 4 more mamas ready to pop at any moment, so you never know.
All right, awesome. A couple more goats I want you to meet. Hang on. Yes, Cindy, that's right. This is Alfredo. Everybody, this is Alfredo, a very special goat here at the farm. Why is Alfredo such a special member of your family here at Hatfield Farm?
Well, so he was born a couple months ago, and Cindy had him. And when he was born, he was just born a little bit different. His front legs are a little bit shorter than usual, and his back legs are like pin straight. But as he's getting older, he's starting to come around a little bit, but we're not exactly sure why he was born like that.
Well, look at him. You say he's one of the feistiest goats here on the farm. He's getting around just perfectly well.
Yeah, we posted a video of him on our Facebook, and he blew up. We got 500,000 views, and
oh no,
yeah,
he's a fan favorite here. And this is Cindy, the mom.
Yep, that's his mom, Cindy.
Who's this?
That is a goat named Indy. She's in here because she's an escape artist.
Okay,
so
Indy.
We haven't quite figured out how to keep her in our petting pens. So that's a work in progress.
All right, we got Alfredo, Cindy, Indy, and who's that?
This is Poppy. So she's a bottle baby goat. She's 2 months old now, and she was abandoned by her mom. We're not sure why, but we've been bottle feeding her ever since. So
she is so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. How do you get any work done around here with these babies?
It's very hard. It is very hard.
I can only imagine. Oh.
Yeah, she's the biggest chewer we have around here. Yeah.
She's a nibbler. Okay, this is so much fun. Well, thank you so much for this little tour of the farm,
No
Lindsay.
worries.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for letting us hang out with your babes. And yeah, okay, let's get you something to nibble upon better than my jacket, okay?
Watch out for your hair.
We gotta get back to the studio. Okay, that's okay. I actually need a little trim off the sides.
I've lost a few inches.
We put all the details about Hatfield Farm on our website, but they are open every day but Tuesday, so come on and get your feed of baby goats.
Oh my goodness, so adorable. Now we're taking a look at the 3-day forecast, seeing wet weather throughout the day for the province, a high of 9. 10 degrees on Tuesday. We will be seeing sunshine return, but also isolated showers into the southern region. And then on Wednesday, sunny skies across the province with a high of 12. For Nova Scotia, looking at a high of 12 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with some scattered showers into the afternoon. And on Tuesday, looking at periods of rain with a high of 12 yet again. And on Wednesday, 13 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. And then for Prince Edward Island, looking at a high of 11, we do have wet weather throughout the day today. On Tuesday, a high of 10. Clouds will clearly bring sunshine. And on Wednesday, sunny skies with a high of 11.
Still ahead this morning, I have a love story. Acclaimed fiddler Natalie MacMaster has added author to her list of accomplishments. We'll talk with her about her new book. That's coming up on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 8:29, almost 8:30 on your Monday morning. We are going to see some wet weather tracking across the region, much needed yet again.
Yes.
And we're definitely seeing temperatures cool down, causing me to get a cold, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, we can hear in your voice.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yay.
Oh my God, it is the season, right?
It is cold and flu season, yeah.
You're not alone. You're not alone. So many people are going through that right now.
Under the weather while giving you the weather.
Exactly. That's right.
Exactly.
Gosh, it's going to be a great half hour. Hope you can stick around for the whole thing because we're chatting with Natalie MacMaster,
Yes,
the legendary fiddler, Grammy winner, and mother of 7.
Wow.
So you have 2. Imagine would like to have 7 kids.
No, thank you.
I think she loves it.
She's a strong woman. That's what it's telling me.
And it's not all
talented
picnics
family.
and roses every day either.
Oh yeah, but when you see them perform, wow.
They're
super talented. Yeah.
Great conversation coming up. In the meantime, we need to let people know what the weather's like today.
Yes, so it is a cooler start to the day. You'll want to layer up. We're taking a live look at Masstown. A bit cloudy, but you can see a bit of sunshine early this morning as well. We are expecting a chance of showers, periods of rain to track right across parts of the Maritime, so keep that in mind when you are heading out today. In terms of the current temperatures, because of the current temperatures, it is quite cool. So we are going to tell you to layer up, but also prepare for the wet weather heading your way. We are going to see precipitation track for much of the region. We're going to take a look at our current temperatures coming up, and 6 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, 9 over in Charlottetown as well as into Sydney, 5 in Halifax, -5 over in Labrador City, and 7 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our special weather statement that remains in effect this morning, parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. This will be ending Tuesday morning because of that wet weather we're seeing across the Maritime region. We do have a rainfall warning also in effect for parts of Nova Scotia ending Tuesday morning as well. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. Chance of showers, periods of rain, at times heavy. We are going to see the heaviest of that precipitation for parts of eastern Nova Scotia. Other than that, Newfoundland and Labrador seeing lots of sunshine today. We do have a chance of showers for parts of those provinces. And then for the current wind across the Maritime region right now, out of the north and northeast, 31 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 30 into North Cape, 24 kilometers per hour in Canso. Only a few wind gusts to notify you of at this time, 41 in Lunenburg and 33 kilometers per hour in Canso. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll have your long range coming up, but first we'll take a look at the local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And if you're a viewer in the Halifax area, you likely just received this emergency alert to your device. A dangerous person with a firearm inside a home. That is the alert that was just issued. Waverley Road in the 2000 block in Waverley, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia RCMP say they are responding. They're asking residents in that area, again, that's the 2000 block of Waverley Road in Waverley, Nova Scotia, to seek immediate shelter or to stay inside and close and lock their doors and window. Police asking people to not leave a secure location. Streets in the area of Waverley Road are currently closed. RCMP also asking residents to call 911 to report any emergencies or tips. Updates will also be posted to Nova Scotia RCMP social media accounts. Of course, you can also follow the latest on this developing story on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. That will be updated after our broadcast ends at 9 a.m. Also new this morning, no ferry crossings between Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. In a social media post, Northumberland Ferry says, due to an ongoing technical issue, the morning crossings between Wood Islands, PEI, and Caribou, Nova Scotia are cancelled. This after several Saturday crossings were cancelled, also due to technical issues. Crossings did resume Sunday morning. A child has died and a teenager seriously injured following a collision Friday night in northeastern New Brunswick. Police say a vehicle traveling north on Route 370 in Haute-Shila struck a moped traveling in the same direction. RCMP say the passenger on the moped, an 8-year-old boy, was rushed to hospital where he later died. The driver of the moped, a 17-year-old boy, was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The people in the vehicle were not physically hurt. The cause of the crash is under investigation. South of the border, some of country music's top stars will celebrate Anne Murray's signature sound in Nashville tonight. The 80-year-old East Coast legend is set to attend the Music of My Life, an all-star tribute to Anne Murray, which takes place at the Opry House. It's an evening that will reunite the Snowbird singer with many good friends and longtime country music connections. Canadians will soon have to be photographed when entering and exiting the U.S. This is according to new rules from the Department of Homeland Security. The new condition will apply to travelers no matter how they cross, whether it's by land, air, or through a port. For more on this, we bring in CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, why does the U.S. government want to take facial photographs of Canadians entering and exiting their borders?
So good morning, Amanda. Yeah, first a heads up to Canadian travelers if anyone plans to head south of the border to, of course, any one of the tourist hotspots, or particularly this time of year in the fall and winter. We all know south of the border is a popular destination with Canadian snowbirds, and you might notice you may be required to provide more personal information, particularly being photographed at all entry and exit points. With new proposed rules officially set to come into effect the day after Christmas this year, December 26th, the Department of Homeland Security will require all immigrants and non-citizens to be photographed when entering and leaving the United States under new regulations released this past Friday. According to the requirements, Customs and Border Patrol plans to ultimately have a biometric entry and exit system at all air, sea, and land ports of entry. The official reasoning points to national security concerns. By collecting data on entry and exit, it helps, according to the documents, address concerns related to terrorism, fraudulent use of travel documents, overstaying visas, or if someone entered the U.S. illegally. Now, according to the requirements, Customs and Border Patrol plans to ultimately have the biometric entry and exit system, Amanda, in place within the next 3 to 5 years. So there might be some ports of entry or exit that won't have fully implemented the new system just yet.
Scott, is the U.S. alone in this type of biometric surveillance?
Well, first, this is an expansion for the U.S. of what is already in place, mostly at U.S. airports. The Department of Homeland Security, through the Customs and Border Patrol Agency, has been collecting and has had the capability to collect biometric data from some travelers since 2004. However, according to government information, there's no comprehensive system in place to collect biometrics from people leaving the country. So in the U.S. in particular, this is a significant expansion, but the U.S. is far from alone. Canadian border agents use biometric data at checkpoints for travelers entering the country. And in the European Union, it's in the process of fully implementing a new entry and exit system that will require the use of biometric data as well. Of course, there are privacy concerns, and particularly at this time in the U.S., Amanda, it's part of a larger push by the Trump administration to crack down on illegal immigration.
Well, good to know for anyone traveling to the U.S. Scott, thank you so much for explaining this for us.
Thanks, Amanda.
CTV's Scott Hurst reporting live from our national newsroom in Toronto. Thank you so much, Scott. Back here in the Maritimes, the Navy divers, they make waves in the water, but they're pretty unstoppable on the land, too.
Huge round of applause for everyone here today. We're ready to sign it up.
That was just before the run started. You could see the sun rising at CFB Shearwater. Members of Fleet Diving Unit Atlantic and civilians ran a total of 50 kilometers over the weekend, starting at CFB Shearwater, finishing along the Salt Marsh Trail. Conditions were incredible. Now, this is for the 43rd annual Navy Divers Run in support of Christmas Daddies. If you've watched the show over the years, you know that the divers, they used to run from Truro to Halifax, and then they would run around the streets of the HRM collecting donations. Not a lot of people have cash anymore, though, right? That is an issue. So they've kind of adopted, also with the pandemic, they've adopted, that's Brad Northrup. He's with the divers. He's been a part of that for a while. Anyways, they did that run. So they had 35 people register, $3,500 raised, because everyone who participated, you had to sign up for $100. So
that's incredible.
Incredible.
Thank you for doing that.
We had great weather. But yeah, again, back to our top story. We did have that breaking news alert for residents in the Halifax area. Again, I just want to reiterate those details. This is a dangerous person with a firearm inside her home. This is in the 2000 block of Waverley Road, which is in Waverley, very close to Dartmouth. So they're asking people in the area to stay inside their homes, to lock their doors and windows, and don't leave a secure location. And streets in the area of Waverley are closed. And RCMP also asking people to call 911 to report any emergencies or tips. You can follow RCMP Nova Scotia social media account. Our newsroom is also trying to get more details on this situation. And this show does end at 9 o'clock, but the news always continues on our website, which is ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Important to keep that in mind.
Yes, thank you for bringing us that information.
Yes, yeah.
All right, now we're going to switch gears and talk about the community calendar. Highlighting some events taking place across the region. So Haunted Happenings takes place in Miramichi. There will be ghosts, zombies, haunts, scary trails, corn mazes, and more held in various locations. If you want a full breakdown of where you can head to, just head to their website. And enjoy an unforgettable night at the PEI Fall Fundraiser Concert in Charlottetown. This is where you can listen to hits from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The performance takes place tonight at 8 p.m. All proceeds raised goes towards helping animals in need. For additional details, head to trailside.ca. And also Halloween in Hazel Glen. This will be taking place in Westville. You can head over to their website on Facebook, actually, the event page, just to get additional details. It runs from now until October 31st. And if you do have an event taking place in our region, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
All right, we're going to have some water And a quick break.
Yes.
Your Morning Atlantic will be right back. Latavia has the last look at the forecast, plus a conversation with Natalie MacMaster about her new book. That is when Your Morning Atlantic returns right after this. It's 8:41.
It is a wet start to the day over in Peggy's Cove. Welcome back, Atlantic Canada. Currently 4 degrees in your area, cloudy start to the day, and we are expecting wet weather throughout the day today with a chance of showers. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. Time now is 8:44. Bit of a cooler start to the day, really right across Atlantic Canada. You may want to layer up before heading out as well. 6 degrees right now in Fredericton, 9 starting off the day in both Charlottetown and Sydney, 5 degrees in Halifax, -5 over in Labrador City with -1 into Happy Valley Goose Bay. 3 degrees over in Corner Brook with 6 in Gander, 7 starting off your day over in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia today. We are expecting that wet weather, bringing around 20 to 40 millimeters. This will be ending Tuesday morning. Also have a rainfall warning in effect today into tonight. Ending Tuesday morning, we're looking at around 40 to 60 millimeters of precipitation. Here's that low that's currently tracking across much of the Maritime region. We are going to see a chance of showers at around 30 to 60% chance of it happening, as well as periods of rain. At its heaviest, will be focused into eastern Nova Scotia, parts of mainland Nova Scotia as well. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected. We are going to see lots of sunshine for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador today. We do have precipitation tracking across parts of Newfoundland as well. And then into the evening and overnight hours, much of the same. We will be seeing a bit of clearing of that precipitation for parts of New Brunswick. Other than that, that wet weather is going to take us into early Tuesday morning. We're also expecting fog patches to develop near midday. Taking us into early Tuesday morning, we do expect another seasonal day ahead for our daytime highs. We will be seeing a chance of some isolated showers lurking across parts of the Maritime region, but for the most part, we will be seeing sunshine return in our forecast. If you are wondering about our rainfall outlook, you can see here, looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters being the heaviest into St. John, New Brunswick, around 2 to 20 millimeters as well for parts of Charlottetown, for Prince Edward Island. And the heaviest of that rainfall is situated into eastern Nova Scotia, as well as into parts of mainland Nova Scotia. The heaviest 40 to 50 millimeters for New Glasgow. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, quite light amounts of precipitation expected for parts of Newfoundland. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. We are going to see wet weather throughout the day today. Daytime highs between 8 to 11 degrees and wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 11 to 12 degrees. We are expecting wet weather throughout your day as well. Showers expected into the evening as well with a high of 40 kilometers per hour. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, a bit of a cloudier start to the day and then seeing showers move in for Cape Breton into the afternoon. And for eastern Nova Scotia, seeing showers throughout the day as well with highs between 9 to 12. For the rest of Nova Scotia, scattered showers expected today, highs between 9 to 12 degrees. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing lots of sunshine throughout your day today, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 5 in Labrador City, 9 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking at sunshine throughout your day as well, and then periods of drizzle move in into the evening. Tuesday's forecast, we will be seeing some sunshine return for parts of Atlantic Canada, a bit cloudier for others, and we are going to see a chance of some isolated showers expected for parts of the Maritime region, as well as into Newfoundland. And then into Wednesday's forecast, temperatures warm up and sunshine returns, Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. It's 8:47. Grab a cup of tea and settle in for a nice conversation. Cape Breton musician Natalie MacMaster is a beloved fiddler, known and appreciated around the world. She's a Grammy winner, Order of Canada recipient, and now author. MacMaster is celebrating the launch of her debut book, I Have a Love Story, which is published in our region by Nimbus. To bring us the details, we welcome Natalie MacMaster to our show this morning. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning to you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I read a wonderful article about your new book in the Inverness Oran, and in that article it said you never thought you were going to write a book. So why did you finally decide to go for it?
Yeah, I was very fueled by a specific moment in my life when I was just kind of overwhelmed with all the terrible headlines in the world and things going on everywhere, even in Cape Breton, like odd things that were just really heavy. And I was like, wow, our world is not safe, or you're not safe anywhere from the things that can go wrong in life. And also the heaviness and even just terrible, evil things happening. And being a mother of 7, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is what world do my kids have to live in? And I started thinking about all of them and and my husband's fatherhood and all of that. And I just felt really grateful for what I was given. I started crying and saying, thank you, God, out loud, thinking of my parents, thinking of Cape Breton, thinking of the music traditions that I was raised in and all the incredible love around me. And I realized at 46 years old, I have a love story. And that's the title of the book. And it fueled in me just a desire to spread, you know, just simple, basic things that I grew up with, to kind of just fuel a reconnection to the value of just, you know, a mom making a hot meal for her child. You know, how that something as simple as that can stay with you for an eternity.
It's true. Now, the book tells your story of growing up in Cape Breton and then rising up through your career, finding the love of your life, raising 7 children. Do you think that there's anything in the book that might surprise people when they read it?
The interesting part when I was writing this book is I thought, you know what, this is not like a shock value at all. There's no shock value here. It's very simple and sweet, and the stories, yeah, I don't think there's anything that's going to surprise anybody. And that wasn't the theme of it either. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe people read and say, oh, my gosh, I never knew this.
Well, maybe. And I mean, I was at the Celtic Colours Festival, and they were giving away a copy of your book, and the crowd was just going wild. They were just so excited to learn more about your life. I think people feel like they already know you. But I've often wondered, how the heck do you do it? 7 children and a you know, blossoming career, and now an author. Like, how do you do it, Natalie?
Well, that actual question was what gave me the courage to actually put this book out, because being a typical Cape Bretoner, I wasn't one to display things. I mean, despite what my music career is, personally, I just like to keep those things private. But there's been so much question, like every interview I've done in the past 19 years has been, how do you manage career and motherhood? And so I know that people are curious about these things, and that's what gave me the courage to just say, you know, I'm just going to share that. And the answer really is just to I don't have a specific answer. I don't have a sweet rule that you can just apply, other than just try and find love in every scenario. Like, how do I love in this moment? How do I love? So-and-so is angry, or so-and-so didn't do something for the 10th time that I've asked them, or whatever it is. You just say, well, what is love? Find love. Find what it means. And it's not always a sweet thing. Sometimes it's very messy.
That's true. Love has many forms, for sure. You're going to be attending the Toronto International Festival of Authors to discuss your book, but also perform there. Does it mean a lot to you to be bringing your Cape Breton roots to a broader stage?
Oh my goodness, yes. And in this way, like through this book, through marrying my, you know, my music to my personal life, to my motherhood and all of that. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's an interlocking story woven together that now with this TIFA event, I'm so honored. I mean, I still don't consider myself a writer. I did write this book, and it was not efficient, let me tell you. I wrote the whole thing with my thumbs on my phone.
Wow.
So it tells you what kind of writer I am. But I got her done.
Well, to me, that tells me that it's authentic. It's your real thoughts in the moment, and it's the real you. And I can't wait to hear more. So, Natalie, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Oh, you're very welcome. Nice to talk to you.
You too. That was author and musician Natalie MacMaster. And we put a link to her new book on our website, I Have a Love Story. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back. It's the end of our October 27th show, and if it is your birthday today, happy birthday to you, because that's part of our Move Morning Chat today. We're asking about cake. What's your favorite type of cake or dessert that you like to have on your birthday? Here's what you had to say. Pam from Halifax says, I have to say my favorite cake would be an ice cream cake. I haven't had one in about 10 years, but it's still my favorite.
Yum.
Pam, you're due.
Let's get one for you, Pam.
I hope someone gives you one. Donna from Gary, New Brunswick says, my favorite cake is a white cake from Co-op with almost a Cool Whip icing and butterscotch ice cream.
Yum.
But I make a lot of chocolate cakes and boiled icing for people.
Okay.
Donna's a good friend.
I don't want the Cool Whip one. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah,
That sounds really good. Monica from Albert Bridge says, my favorite is plum cake with a crumble on top. Not too sweet, but very yummy.
Ooh, never had it, but sounds intriguing.
I know. Maybe add that to the
Add it to the list.
Yeah. I have to agree, says Melanie. DQ cake all the way. A small one just won't do. I need a large one. It must have extra fudge.
Yes.
Second best is a McCain cake or 2.
Oh my gosh, Melanie, we're basically twins. I loved all of that.
Oh, so good. Mina from Hammonds Plains, Dairy Queen ice cream cake, although my husband seems to think that it's Black Forest cake.
Really?
Maybe that's just what he calls it. It's pretty funny. And Donna from Halifax says, my favorite is any kind of cheesecake, 1,000,000 calories, but they all fly out when you cut the cake. So
absolutely. And remember, if it's a birthday cake, you have to have at least a crumb or it's bad luck.
Really?
You gotta have a little piece. Yeah.
Okay, if I have to.
Yeah, twist my arm.
Oh my gosh, well that is the end of our show on this Monday. It's 8:57, but thank you for joining us today, and I think we got off to a great start this week.
Oh my gosh, I mean, when you have goats on the show, it's a win.
It is true.
Can't complain.
Can't complain. All right, have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 6 a.m.
Bye.